Hey, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all well. Thanks for joining. Today on the bench I have a Harman Kardon hk350i. Now, I received a pair of these as payment for some work I did for one of my clients. He paid me by giving me a pair of these. I featured one of these in a video previous, and this other one's been sitting, waiting a long time. So I want to get this worked over and get this thing finished so I can get paid here. And I like these 350s. They do sound good. They're not the best thing on the market, but hey, whatever. It came with an FM antenna too, so bonus. But let's turn this. I don't even know if it works or not, so let's turn it on and try it. Where is power? Okay, in we go. Can you see that? Yep. Goes up to 18 watts. And clicks on, and current jumps up to about 35, 37, 38, 39. So we got a pretty biased pretty heavy. Supposed to be on FM right now. Okay, FM's working. I don't know if that's my speakers. I got a corrupted pair of bench speakers, so they're corrupted because they saw too much power one day. It doesn't sound good though. Left channel's okay. Let's put a tone through this. Right channel, left. So very crunchy controls. Unpredictable noises coming out. Let me try a different tone. Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. There we go. And I think that's the voice coil of the speaker that's torn up. So I could confirm that by swapping speakers. Okay, I swapped left for right. Yeah. It wants to break through and sound good, but yeah, the speaker's fried. AM? Anything on AM today? Oh.
Tariffs and what you got at tariffs, and we start negotiating with other countries, and we start trying to get this thing on track. This relationship with the United States is like being married to Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh, this butthurt is strong.
Go. We got to get to England. We got to go back to Japan. Now we got to go up to Scandinavia. So it's like this. You're just in this protective bubble because you don't even have you don't realize what it's really doing, the success of it, because it just.
Okay, buddy. Very weak on AM. It's like very. I got more than half volume here, and I'm just barely hearing things. So we got some problems with AM. I'm pretty sure FM is working better. Yeah, FM's working okay. So we have dirty controls, dirty switches, weak AM, one channel cutting out. I heard it cutting out on the left side. So we got a lot of problems here, a lot of cleaning up to do. So let's get started. Alright, screws are out, the big reveal. Looks good. Cobwebs in the corner. We'll get rid of that. And everything looks original and untouched, which is nice. I like that. I like seeing that. This will be an easy amp to work on. It's got all the original caps. Elna caps, which is good. We do have some Ashishita caps down here on the phono stage. And lots of circuit glue. So I'll have a little bit of work cut out for me. Yeah, looks good. I didn't notice if the dial lights are, I think the dial lamps are burned out, I'm not sure. I'll pull the bottom off and inspect that too. Okay, screws are out. I had to almost use an impact driver to get them out. They're so tight. But, very nice, untouched condition. Got original dust. Nobody's been in here monkeying around, changing devices. All the original silicon. Everything looks good. This is going to be a nice project because it's very nice condition. There's no damage. It's just really dirty right now. And once I clean this all up and replace all the caps for sure, and we'll get this thing 100%. It's going to be a real nice minty example when I'm finished. And I think if I pass it along to a new owner, I think they'll be happy with it too. So yeah, lots to do here. So I'll get the faceplate off and we'll start with all the switches and controls. They badly need it. And then I think we'll just carry on doing what I usually do. Dusty, yeah, of course it is. It's been sitting. But I don't think it's a high use. It hasn't been seen a lot of use. It's very low hours. I can't see anything that's baked on the board. Everything looks pretty good. Looks very nice condition. So anytime I'm working on one of these series amps receivers, first thing I do is I remove this power button. Just pull it off the switch. Because I guarantee you, if you do not, this will get broken off. And this one's intact for today, but I've seen them snap off. They snap off so easy. So just take this off, put it aside somewhere safe. And then another thing you can do is you can remove this screw and remove this printed circuit board. Sometimes they do have it on both sides. That's your lamps for the dial. And this board is very brittle. And if you're laying the receiver up on its end, you're going to be putting pressure on this and it could snap this board. So just remove it and just let it dangle out of the way. Just let it dangle out of the way and it won't get crushed. Okay, so when I attack this, one of the first things I do is I just remove the phono equalization stage. Just remove it all together because it's going to get worked on separately. It's got to get all this glue cleaned and solder joints inspected. So I just take it out. It's easy. And then next thing I do is I remove the heatsink because it's in a way for a lot of things too. I can't get this switchboard out. The heatsink's blocking. I could take the front off, but then I have to deal with the dial cord, right? So I'm gonna leave the front on, remove the heatsink, and then attack everything from behind. I can remove the tone board. Tone board is loose right now, but it's getting blocked by the heatsink. So heatsink comes out. Just a matter of removing all the screws, top and bottom, and just remove it. It's pretty easy. A lot of this can be just, for example, these stabilizers. You can just pull them out from under the screw. You don't need to remove the screw even, and just remove the stabilizer. And then pull it out. And then it has one of these goofy plastic screws on this regulating transistor here. I always remove these plastic screws and replace them with steel and proper insulator. I don't know why they use these stupid plastic screws. There's no advantage to them. You can't torque them down, and they go loose after time, and they can get brittle and crack. Let's pull it out. Let's have a look at it. That's on the floor now, never mind. Now with this out I can wash it. It's filthy, I can wash it. And we can redo all of the heatsink compound on the back and clean it all up. And then I have full access here, nothing's in my way. Okay, so these switches that they used in these Harman Kardons aren't the greatest. They're pushing 40 years old now, I think. But the problem with these switches is you can't really open them up and clean them. You could take the mechanism apart and pull it apart, but you still can't. You got to use a Q-tip and get in there and clean it. And it's a pretty piss poor design. Best thing to do is replace them. So how do you find this switch on the internet? I'm going to give you a little clue here, and this is going to work probably for a lot of different odd switches. Like this one here, for example, it has a tighter pin spacing than the other ones. Let me pull my other switches out. These ones, for example, these are the ones you're going to find most common. They have a quite coarse, and let's see if I can find one here. So you can buy these ones. And these ones you've probably seen a lot of. They're pretty common. You can get them different configurations, different pin length. These ones have solder lugs on top and PC on the bottom. These ones, for example, they're just straight PC mount, but these are the large coarse ones. And then you get the smaller ones. You're kind of limited in what you get. So this one has correct pin spacing for what I need. There's my other switch. But it will not work. If I line up the pins, the new switch with the old one, the pins are lined up. You can see how the plungers don't match at all. So this switch is not suitable, even though it's you know, it would fit the circuit and it would work, but I would have to modify the plunger. And same with a lot of these different ones. But I tried to get different ones stocked in have them on hand, just for, you know, so you have them. But they don't work in every instance. This one, for example, is the same thing. If you line up the pins, the plungers don't line up. So what do? Let me show you a trick. You get your switch, take a picture of it, either smartphone. I don't have a smartphone, so I use this thing. And we're going to take this picture and we're going to search with it. So this is AliExpress, and what you can do, you can search by picture. If you go into their search bar here, you can type in anything up top in the search bar, or right here is a little icon, and you can upload a picture. So I already have the picture here, and I'm going to put it on. And what it does, so here's my picture, and what it does is it matches using AI. So right off the bat, it's got some 3-pin connectors on top, which is, I don't understand why that came up in the search. And then we have a 6-pin switch, different switch. This one here though looks like a match. Now that looks identical to my switch. Where did I put my switch? I left it in the other room. So if I hold the switch up and have a look, no, the light's not great here, but it does match and it's identical. And if you go down here, sometimes they have dimensions. You can go and measure with a ruler, and you can check the dimensions to make sure but this is the right switch. This, even though it's not identical, it will fit, and it looks the same. So that's what I'm going to order. Get different pictures here. So that's how you find a part. If you need a switch, for example, here's So these look like they're kind of beat up. But you also got to be careful here, because sometimes they sell used parts on this site. So you have to make sure. And you can go and check all the different types of switches you can get for audio use. And yeah, if this one here looks pretty good too. But I think I already have these ones in my parts tray. There's no dimensions on these ones, so I don't know how big it is. Oh, here we go. You can see this in the... Yeah. A lot of times they'll have a drawing that you can compare dimensions to what you need, what they have. So yeah, that's about it. Alright, so it's probably about a week later. I put this project on hold for a while, did some other things, and had a little bit come through the mail. So let's check these out. These are the ones I ordered, and they should be identical. And it looks like they are. Looks like they're identical in every way. So that was a success. I think, yeah. But I did have a hiccup. This one came after about a week, which is, I was really impressed. Ordered these on AliExpress, and here they are. Doesn't look like... Yeah, there's quite similar. But these ones didn't come. The order sat dormant for about 5-6 days, and then they canceled the order on me because the seller wasn't shipping. So I lost out on that sale. But what I did is I turned around and I ordered the same switch through a different vendor, and it appears they shipped it. So hopefully these will be here in the next few days. What you could do though, if you were stuck for an emergency, you could take one of these switches, cut the back 6 pins off, and just use the front 6 pins as a double pull, double throw switch, and you could go that way, and you could easily substitute one of these for one of these if it'll fit on the board. That's of course if there's room for it. But yeah, I'm pleased with this, really pleased. These are brand new. Let's check some contact resistance. Okay, so click that. Alright, so we're getting about 100. This might be old stock that I bought, because I'm getting about 100 or 200 milliohms of contact resistance. I like to see it down around 10 milliohms. This is quite a bit higher. So these might have been sitting for a lot of years in a warehouse. Let me try this side. Yeah, I'm getting 200 milliohms. Okay. Might have to just give them a spray. But look at this one. Let's see this one. He's about the same. I was measuring some terrible readings before. Yeah. So what I can do, these switches I can open, these new ones. like they got the hook on this side, hook here, and hook here. These 3 tabs, you lift them and then you can take the bottom off. You need to take the steel frame. These ones have the steel frame. You have to uncrimp it here and here, remove the steel, and then you have to remove the spring, because the spring holds that part down, see? So you pull the spring back, and then you can lift the blue lid off. And I think the latching mechanism just stays, it's all contained within that copper lid. And it just stays. But this can be cleaned, whereas this one can't. This one's sealed, and you can't open it because it's glued shut. So there's no cleaning this, but there is cleaning this. But I'm going to use these new ones, and I'm going to put these in. I think I'll need one of these, and then one of the small ones, or 2 of the small ones. And when these get here, I'll install them, and then we'll continue on. Alright, so new switches have finally arrived. After having to reorder them a second time from a different vendor, they came through. These are brand new, and they should be a direct drop-in replacement for the original, which they are, looks like. Okay, so now I can put this project back on the bench. Had it suspended for about 3 weeks waiting for this. So, that's good. And I got some extras because I know other pieces of equipment use these same type switches. I've seen them around, but they are difficult, kind of difficult to find. Well, not really, because I just found some. But I can get this thing put back together, and I can now populate the switchboard back with the switches that are needed and start reassembly. And I'm just about done this. Most of the work is done, original caps, and I added additional caps. Okay, all the other caps have been replaced except for the tuner. I haven't done the tuner yet. I'm going to evaluate the tuner when it gets back in under power. Everything else looks good, so I can start reassembly. Excellent. Okay, so this is going to be pretty typical for these receivers of this era, of this age, the one with the analog scale. It has the incandescent indicator. I put power to it and there's no lamp. It's dead. Feeding it 10 volts and it's not lighting up. So typically what I do with these is I just take the incandescent lamp out of here and I replace it with an LED. Use the same wiring because the wiring is, well, how are you going to replace this? You have to get, this is very fine gauge wire, and it yeah, so we just leave the wiring alone. We keep it connected to the same spot on the power board here. There is a dropping resistor here for this lamp because this lamp uses less current than the other lamps. What I do is I take this resistor out and I replace it with a higher value, and I also this is AC here. These 2 orange wires is AC, and this goes on to the lamps. One lamp on one side, one on the other. The green wires is from the transformer. And I can go on the other side of the board and I can cut a trace, add a little diode, add a capacitor, add a dropping resistor, and build a little power supply just for this LED that's going to do the dial scale. And I'll do that. I haven't decided on any values yet, but I'll when I get in there. It's not really hard to do. You just need to remove these 4 screws. This little power board comes out, and you can work on it. So I'll get that done. As for an LED, I have lots of choices for colors. I got blue, green, red. Could use warm white. I've done it with green. It seems okay with green. The dial scale itself is lit with this lamp here. This is an incandescent, and it's a warm white. And what it does is it shines on the edge of the glass, or it's not really glass, it's a plexi. And then what happens is all of the script and the text lights up, and then you don't see anything else. So it kind of looks like it's backlit, but it's not. It's side lit. So this is going to be a warm white color, and then for this dial indicator I could use, I think I'll go with green, and we'll use that as our tuning indicator color. Okay, so here's my solution for the dial indicator lamp. So this is a little grain and wheat bulb. cut it off right at the base where the wires go in, and it did have a green condom on it, and you could reuse this if you really wanted to. I don't know. You could put it over the LED, and this is the LED I'm putting on. It's a green LED. Here, have a look at its color and intensity. Feeding it through 1,000. I'm feeding 10 volts through a 1,000 ohm resistor. So, and we got that. And we're drawing about 11 milliamps, but that's not relevant right now because we're going to redo all the current when we build our little power supply. We get this heat shrink tubing on. I just cut the wires off the old bulb and soldered a new one in place. Get this heat shrunk. Ouch. Okay. And like I said, I could put the condom back on. Doesn't really fit that great. But we could, let me test this again, see how it looks with the condom. Where's my wires? Okay. Got my positive negative backwards. Okay, so the condom's blocking a lot of the light. It's blocking all the light actually. I might just go without it. So let's take this off. And it's ripped and falling apart. Okay, no condom. Alright, so it can be stuffed back in to the dial pointer, and then I'll glue it in place so it's not going to move. Now that I got the bulb in place, or the LED in place, I'm just going to anchor it with a little dab of hot melt glue. Just a very small amount. Just so that it won't fall out. It is removable if I need to take it out in the future, which I probably won't. Alright, so here's what I did. I took this little circuit, rearranged it, I added a surface mount, I cut the trace under here, added a surface mount diode, right, and then I added a 10 microfarad 25 volt cap across between what is now ground and this point here, which is going to be our B plus for this little supply. Now I turned it on, measured it, it was 18.4 volts across this cap. So that's what we're generating with this green winding through a diode, through a capacitor, and we're getting 18.4 volts DC, which is a little high. So I did calculations and I came back with 5,300 ohms for a dropping resistor for a green LED. And so I put in a 5.6K. Now I'll show you how bright it is. I think it's a little too bright. I might actually go down in current. That's for about 3 milliamps of LED current. So let me plug this in and I'll show you. Turn it on. Maybe it doesn't look too bad in the light here, but it is kind of bright. Let me turn the lights off. A little on the bright side, I think. I'm going to turn it down a little more. I don't want it overpowering because it's going to look odd. So maybe I'll turn it to a 8K or a 10K resistor. I can always change that. Alright, back together, ready to do a bias setting. So let's turn this thing on. Power's on. It's our power consumption. Amplifier is going to kick on. There we go. Setting is 33 millivolts. Here we got nothing. Why do we have nothing on this channel? Okay, but this one's crazy high. So we need to turn this one down. To 33. I'll turn it a little low. Okay. And why isn't this one working? A bad connection? Ah, got a bad connection here. What is going on with my multimeter? crazy. Let me investigate this. I think my leads are bad. Okay, those other leads are garbage. They don't. I couldn't get them to work on either meter. So go back to these leads. Turn this back on. Now I was adjusting this channel, and the power consumption was going up and down. I could see it, but the meter was showing something really weird. It was not correct at all. So we have this now set up. So let's adjust this channel for 33. We just have to use the same meter and go back and forth a few times. So I'll turn this one up to about 30, and we're at 30 watts consumption right now. 31 watts. I'm gonna let this cook and settle. See, it's already climbing above what it should be, and I'll just keep adjusting and turning it down until our target is 33 when it's warm. So as it warms up, it's going to move. So I'll just do this, turn it down a little bit, and let it soak. I think it's doing pretty good on the FM. Probably what I'm going to do is go do a dial alignment. What really irks me is when I have an FM tuner and the dial alignment's off. So I'll make sure that's correct. I'm not sure about, I think the other adjustments are okay. It is actually picking up pretty good with just a piece of wire hanging off the end. So I think the FM is fine. Picking up stereo pretty easy. Struggling a bit with the weaker stations, but then that's... This one's 3 bars, 4 is maximum. But there is a little bit of noise when you hit the center in tuning.
Visit grow.rogers.com. Back and bigger than ever. The 4th events at City Floor for a limited time.
See right there, it's having a little trouble with that station. See, and then it blanks out. So maybe that's a muting problem. Yeah, it might be just a muting problem. Okay, the good news is AM is working actually pretty good right now. Pretty weak station there.
Courtney? Okay, all right. How's that for feedback? Do I throw to Jackson McNulty? Do you want to?
That's a local station.
Throw it and I'll read the sponsor thing. All right, if you're looking to head out the door in the 4th.
Now, it might have been just that the switch was dirty when I first tested it. Maybe it wasn't, the AM signal wasn't getting through. That's why I had it cranked over halfway. It was so quiet. But
Genres and influences.
it seems to be working normally now. So I think I'll just go through, I'll do a quick FM touch-up alignment just to make sure everything's good there. I'll do the dial scale on AM and FM. I might go through and do AM alignment for the IF and the tuner, and we'll see how, if it makes any improvement or not. Alright, so we're ready to do a power test. Now I'm going to let you in on what I did. I did an AM and FM alignment on the tuners. The AM brought in quite a bit of signal gain and it cleaned it up quite a bit. The FM not so much. It was pretty much bang on already, and so I didn't have to do much there. But AM's working great now, so is the FM. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I spent the morning doing distortion tests and frequency response tests, and this is really revealing. I found out something I didn't know by doing this. Is I connect up the distortion meter and then turn on the signal, and the distortion is jumping all over the place. Like wasn't steady. It was climbing. It was dropping, and trying to figure out what was going on here. Do I have a bad connection, or an input signal was flaky? But what it turned out to be was the speaker switch was had a high resistance, and it was very unstable. So I had to clean the speaker switch, work it quite a bit, and it came back. But that's something that you'll never hear with your ears, or you never see with a scope. But a distortion meter, right away, bang, it was there, and it was pretty obvious. Pretty good results. At 1 watt, I'm getting about 0.03% total harmonic distortion on both channels. 0.03% is the peak, and it goes down from there. It goes down to 0.013, 0.012%, and even the 20 watt distortion measurements are pretty good. Still, again, 0.03 is the peak, and as little as 0.0045%. So this amplifier is doing pretty good. So it's all warmed up and ready to go to do a power test. I have a signal, and let's turn this up till we hit clipping. Okay, there's our clipping. Let's back it off. Just doing 1000 hertz tone into 8 ohms. So right there, I'm going to say that's pretty close to maximum power. 15.32 volts RMS into 8 ohms. Okay. Start our timer, and then we'll come back and we'll visit this again. Right now, I'm at 121 watts going in, and then we have our watts going out the back. The rest of it is in heat. So we'll see how this goes. Alright, we're past the 10-minute mark, and we're doing really well. Let's see what we got for heat here. We are up around 50 degrees Celsius. It's hard to, can't really get a good fix on an aluminum heatsink with a infrared gun, because it just doesn't show you the true temperature. But it's probably, yeah, it's pretty close to 60. You can feel it difficult to hang on to. But I think it's adequate. I'm going to stop the counter here, and then we'll let this wind this down and let it cool. And then we'll wrap this up. I think we're finished. Alright, so here's a look at the parts that went into this. I replaced incandescent bulb. This resistor was removed because I reworked the power supply for the dial indicator lamp, so that's redundant. These 15K resistors here, well, there's actually two 15Ks and one other. These were bodges that were on the bottom of the PCB board, and I removed them and replaced them with chip resistors just to clean that up. And then, of course, our two switches, I replaced these two. And caps, for the most part, were okay, except for these blue Matsushita caps. These ones all failed. Like this one's a 16 at 10 volts, or sorry, 10 at 16 volts. This one's failed because it's down around 6 microfarads. So the blue Matsushita caps have failed. The kind of dark blue, navy blue Elna caps, they're all holding up. So you got to appreciate this was a low hours unit. So these caps are actually in pretty good condition, except for the Matsushita caps. So they were holding up pretty good. None of them were baked, but yeah, like I said, they're getting up in age. So I replaced everything, even though the Elnas were still in good condition. So that's it for parts. Alright, there it is. It's done. I'm pleased with the end result. Well, I was pleased with the beginning result too, because this is a nice, very nice minty receiver. It's got no damage, very little damage. There's a few nicks, but they're pretty much invisible. So this will make a nice shelf queen, and hopefully its sound will live up to its reputation as well. So that's as far as I'm taking this one. I'm going to test drive this one for about 3 weeks, see how it sounds, and then I'll pass it on to a new owner if they'll have it. Take care. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.